GM.
GM.
Today's lesson, I'm going to talk about the importance of just showing up and working. So there's a phrase you've probably heard that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And it's true in all areas of life, right? Talent or brains or intelligence will take you so far, but if you don't actually apply it, you're not going to get any results. It's as simple as that. You need to have the combination of both. But here's the great thing. You don't need any, well, not any intelligence. You need some intelligence. But you don't need to be super smart if you are coachable, you'll listen, you can follow instructions, and then you're willing to work very hard. You can get all the success you need out of life. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of millionaires who don't have a high school, or they have a high school diploma but they don't have a college degree. They started out with nothing. There's illiterate millionaires who can't even read or write properly. It's absolutely, there's no correlation between financial success and intelligence or IQ. There's many fucking 150, 160 level IQ super turbo geniuses that are broke, right? So intelligence itself is nothing. It's a bit like win rate. The win rate of your system is nothing by itself. It doesn't matter about the win rate of your system if you don't know how much you make when you're right and how much you lose when you're wrong. You could have a 90% win rate system, right? Winning 9 times out of 10. But if those 9 winners are only like 0.1, 0.1 R, you're still going to have an unprofitable system. So it's the combination of both. Intelligence by itself is okay. Hard work by itself is actually better. Because if you're hard work and you can just follow instructions, you can beat the people who are smart but don't work. Having all of the knowledge in your brain is no good if you don't apply it. So that right away cuts out any excuses. There's never an excuse, I had a bad upbringing, I didn't get good education, I didn't learn to read and write, or this and that. I bet everyone listening to this can read or write, right? In your native language. So right away, you have more capability than many millionaires from the past. So there's zero excuse. And what you need to do is understand that you can get so far off of talent alone or being smart alone. But to really cross over, you have to work. And too many people overthink work. It is literally turn up every day. Be productive every day. Do something every day that is getting you towards whatever your big goal is. So if it's very simple, right? If you want to make $1 million, every single day you should do something that either makes you money or will lead to you making money in future, right? If you're starting off your copywriting agency, you might not make money on day one, but if you start to send out emails and talk to people who might give you money in future, that's moving you closer to money. You're not going to make millions of dollars trading on day one. But if you start backtesting and learning how to build systems, those systems will eventually lead to a profitable system, which you can then start trading small. And then over time, you can scale that up and start to make money. The stuff you do that won't make you money is the stuff you need to avoid. Endlessly consuming content without applying it. Endlessly doing the bullshit things in your business that aren't closer to the money. Like designing graphics for your website. You don't need to design graphics for your website if you don't have any clients. Go get clients. None of that takes intelligence, right? Everyone listening to this knows that's the case. So just make a commitment to yourself to turn up, show up, do the work to begin with, right? That's the first part. And secondly, if you ever look at, apart from some very rare exceptions, all the greatest in any sport or any field are not necessarily the most talented. They're the ones that were relentless. Best example I've seen, because I love golf. Tiger Woods is widely known as the greatest golfer ever, and is. But he says himself, the most talented golfer he's ever seen is John Daly. And you should go and Google. If you don't know who John Daly is, Google John Daly golf. And you'll see what John Daly looks like. and then you'll see exactly how much effort he puts in to his craft. None. And he admits this. He doesn't practice. He just turns up, plays golf. He's literally one of the most naturally talented golfers ever. Yet, he's one of the most unfulfilled, as in, didn't fulfill his promise. He won some tournaments. He won major tournament. But by all accounts, he should have dominated the sport if he just took it seriously, but he didn't. He didn't want to. And that's fine, by the way, right? That's his path he chose. But when you take that and you break it down into not like a high-level professional sport, because he still managed to make loads of money and be professional or be a professional and have a career. But if you take this down into something like trading or sales or any business that you're in, if you act like John Daly, you're not going to get the kind of success he had because you're not in a field that pays disproportionate amounts of money to someone who's just talented. Right? It doesn't matter how much talent you have for trading. If you won't apply it and work hard at it, eventually you will just lose your money. You have to understand certain things. You have to follow certain processes. You have to do the work. You can be a really talented salesman, but if you're not picking up the phone, you're not going to make money. And I've seen this. I used to work in sales. I knew so many people, natural salesmen. Absolute naturals. I wasn't a natural. I had to learn it. I definitely wasn't a natural. I was awkward when I first started on the calls. I was like nervous and overthinking it and saying the wrong things. And I taught myself how to do it. Right? Because when you just do something over and over and over again, you get better. I knew people who were super talented, amazing, could build rapport, had charisma, were good speakers, very persuasive in their tone, and none of them made more money than me. None of them. And they should have, but they didn't because they would make a bit of money and then just chill. They'd hit their target for the month and they'd just be lazy. Just straight up lazy. They just didn't want to do it. Like, I've made enough. That's it. There was no drive there to be the best. There was a lot of complacency. You have to be a consistent person. Consistency is key. If you just turn up every day and you put in the work, over time, very small amounts of effort every single day will compound. Somebody who only shows up every week or every month, they don't even get a chance to benefit from compounding because they're always just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. And it begins with being accountable. You have to be accountable to yourself. You have to tell yourself, here's what I need to do. And then you need to do it. And then you need to tell yourself, good job, I did it. Let's go again tomorrow. It can only be done one day at a time. There is no other way of doing it. You can't be consistent 1 week at a time unless you're consistent 1 day at a time. A consistent person is not somebody who just is so talented that they just wake up and do everything right. Talent has nothing to do with consistency. In fact, oftentimes, talent and consistency don't go well together. You see this like with artists, a lot of creative people, music artists, or just actual regular artists in any field. And a lot of them are fucking drug addicts. A lot of them are super lazy. They'll do nothing for weeks and then they'll just blast out some work whenever they get, creative, whatever, impulse. And people say part of that's like, the creative side of them makes them very stop-start, but when they hit it really well. A lot of that's just cope too, because there's always musicians and artists who are fucking talented and hardworking, and then they crush. So there's no point, when you know this, when you have this knowledge, there's no point choosing to try and rely on talent when all you need to do is tell yourself, I'm going to work every day. Imagine how much you could actually do if you took your talents and applied discipline and consistency on top. You would be literally fucking unstoppable. So why wouldn't you do that? Be accountable for everything you do. Daily. Every day. Show up. Keep grinding. Keep working. Keep doing the things you're supposed to do. And also then, if you haven't got the talent that you think you should, guess what? By turning up every day, by getting 1% better every day, you will build that talent. You will build skills. You will get better. That's how I learned sales. Was terrible at the start. Showed up every day. Did more than anyone in the office. I committed to myself. I'm not leaving until everyone else has left. I'm going to do more calls. Going to beat them on every activity measure. Guess what? Then I built a talent for sales. And now, after not doing it for years, I could go back and just jump straight in and do it. Same goes for trading. You don't know what you don't know at the beginning. You can't be good at the beginning because you don't know anything. Show up every day. Get 1% better. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. Then 3 years from now, there'll be things that you just do automatically in the market, or things you see, things you know, that are just second nature to you. But that hard work is what builds it. And don't fall into the trap of hard work, grind, 18 hours, grind. It's not about how many hours you put in. It's about targeted. You could watch 18 hours of fucking YouTube videos on trading and fool yourself that you're working. You're not working. You're just mindlessly consuming. You could do 4 hours of focused work in line with your big goal, doing testing, back testing and analysis, researching projects, whatever it is, stuff that actually puts you in a position to potentially make profitable trades and make money. And with less time, you get more out of it. It's not about how many hours you put in. It's about doing it every day. That's one thing, yes. Be consistent every day. And then when you are working, work in a targeted manner towards whatever your bigger picture goal is.